Well, I sort of blew it on the Sunday Bible study. I only did First John. I never went to the Revelation study. So tonight we got to double up. So guess what that means? We're doing the beginning, middle, and end of Revelation 13, which is kind of good. That's okay. We would have split it in half yesterday, Sunday and Monday, and now we'll just do it all. Continuing on in First John 3 first. Beloved, now are we sons of God, and it doeth not yet appear what we shall be, but we know that when he shall appear, when he wakes up the church out of the grave and then brings us who are alive, or them, whoever it is, alive on the earth, known as the post tribulation rapture, pre God's wrath, but post great tribulation. When he shall appear, we shall see him, for we shall see him as he is, or we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. And every man will have our glorified body at that point. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth against the law, for the sin is a transgression of the law. And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin. Whoever abideth in him sinneth not. Doesn't mean you never sin. It means that you don't have any of the deadly sins. 7 deadly sins are not real, but if you read Galatians 5:19 through 21, which we've been over quite a bit, adultery, fornication, wrath, strife, variance, emulations, drunkenness, reveling, and a host of others, those which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom. So, but 1 John 5:17 says, and we'll get to that in 2 more chapters. 1 John 5:17. Not all sin, all wicked actions are sin, but not all sin leads to death. So whosoever sinneth have not seen him, neither know him. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that committeth sin is of the devil, for the devil sinneth from the beginning. For the purpose of the Son of God was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of God doeth not commit sin, for his seed remaineth in him, and he cannot sin because he is born of God. Again, it doesn't mean you will never sin. That's why when you read Romans 7, Paul talks about being in that fleshly body and how he hates it because he can't quit sinning. Yet again, not all sin leads to death, because you never quite get rid of that sense of self. A little bit of pride, a little bit of ego never does leave you. But the list of sins in Galatians 5:19 through 21, where it says, those which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom, what you would call more severe sins: premarital sex, cheating on your spouse, cheating with, or having sex with a married woman, and a host of others. In this, children of God are manifest, and children of the devil. Whosoever is not of righteousness is not of God, neither is he that loveth not his brother. We've been over this. It's sort of stating the same thing over and over. And just when you begin my First John series, every bit of this is already covered. For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning, that we should love one another. That's sheep to sheep, and loving each other in the truth. All right, so let's get on with Revelation 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns were 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. So there are 7 kings, 5 have fallen, and that's Darius the Mede, not Darius the Third. The rest are speculation, but Donald Trump did say in the Pizza Hut commercial, Napoleon, Alexander the Great, Donald Trump are all cut from the same cloth. So this loosely could be the 7 kings. And Nebuchadnezzar and Darius the Mede were both called by the Lord in the book of Daniel. They were not fallen, but the rest are goats. And when it gets into Revelation 17, it says the 8th is of the 7. That's the twin trumps, the twin towers, because when he returns, seemingly from the dead, it was no more than a body double switch, because the Antichrist must receive a deadly wound by the sword, but did live. So that's the trick in that. And so that's the 7 heads, or the 7 kings. There are 7 kings, 5 have fallen. That's Revelation 17, verses 8 through 11, but mainly 10 and 11. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads, one of the 7 heads. Which one specifically? That one. Not that one. Not that one. Not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6, but 7. One of his heads as if it were wounded to death, and his, which one? The one that was wounded to death, seemingly so. And his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. We already read that. The dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things. Now, don't forget, World War III is coming. That's Revelation chapter 6, verses 1 through 8. White horse, red horse, black horse, pale horse. Corona means crown. White horse receives his crown, his corona, the Antichrist does. Red horse is war by the sword. Black horse is famine. Pale horse is death to 1/4 of the earth due to the war and the famine. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened up his mouth and blasphemed against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. Well, that just throws out right there your logic before authority, that he doesn't do what he does in a temple, that the temple of God is a human. No, the temple of God is a sheep. But to the Jew, which is where it takes place in Israel, this abomination that causes desolation comes into the coming 3rd temple, his tabernacle. And his tabernacle. Let's look that up. 13:6. See if it gives all, what all the definitions are for tabernacle. Tabernacle, the movable temple of God, after the pattern of which the temple of truth. Says it all right there, doesn't it? Yeah, I hope that really puts it into that. His tabernacle. His coming 3rd temple is where he's going to do it. It says in Revelation 11:8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt, where our Lord was crucified. That's where the abomination takes place. Abomination that causes desolation. That's why Jesus told them to flee Judea when you see it. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. Now, you know that Trump is here in his own name, because a trump is a horn. And the little horn of Daniel 7 is the Antichrist. And Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses that match this passage, speaking of the horn as the Antichrist. Notice it begins and ends, says the same horn. A trump is a horn. And Jesus said what? He said, I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. But if one shall come in his own name, him you will receive. He's here in his own name. in his own name. So a trump is a horn, and a horn is a trump. Trump Tower has 5 multiple addresses, 721 through 725. Right there, 721 Trump Tower, Wikipedia, at 721-725 Fifth Avenue. Let me repeat that. 721 through 725 Fifth Avenue. Guess what? The little horn of Daniel 7, 721 through 725, the horn, make war with the saints. It ends with, and shall wear out the saints. That's the Antichrist, which just happens to match Trump Tower's 5 multiple addresses. Do you think Donald Trump is going to stand inside of the human body, declaring himself to? No, he's going to come back seemingly from the dead when he takes his deadly wound. So you just read, shall make war, shall wear out the saints, made war with the saints. What did we just read? Make war with the saints and to overcome them. Make war with the saints and to wear out the saints. And the power was given unto him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spoke like a dragon. This is the false prophet. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Again, whose deadly wound was healed. It will be to his right eye. Woe to the idle shepherd that leaveth the flock. The sword shall be upon his arm and upon his right eye. And his arm shall be clean dried up, and his right eye shall be utterly darkened. That's where the deadly wound will be. And the internet will be down when all this takes place, so we won't be able to point it out. They will say cyber attacks. World War III might already be getting started. For whatever reason, we won't be able to tell each other what's going on. And he that doeth great wonders, so maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man, and deceiveth them that dwell upon the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword, and did live. Remember, he comes back from the dead. So, deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of the miracles. Let's go over those miracles. Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worshipped. So he, as God, sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. That's a real temple, folks. It's not the human body. Remember ye not that when I was first with you, I told you these things, that wicked one be revealed. Even him whose coming is after the work of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. All power and signs and lying wonders. Deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles or by the means of those lying wonders. There shall arise false Christ and false prophets. When you look it up, it's just singular. When you look it up in the Greek. so to rewrite it properly, for there shall arise a false Christ and a false prophet, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Great signs and wonders. Signs and lying wonders. Those miracles. They're all one and the same. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, and he causes all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or their foreheads. That's figurative. And that no man might buy or sell, save he that have the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. People either are being connected to the technology today, or they will be at that time, and they will upload demonic entities into their body. That's why the mark will be on their foreheads, because guess where God seals his people before he removes them from the earth? He seals them on their foreheads. This is figurative, spiritual type language that's taking place. It means that nothing can enter your mind, or that the entities will be entering. So, talking about that frontal lobe. What does the frontal lobe of the brain control? Voluntary movement, expressive language for managing higher level executive functions. Oh, I know what I was going to do. You key in Don Drumpf. When you key in 666, Donald Trump's name was once Donald Drumpf. Actually, it's the family.
According to Wikipedia, while there was agreement among commentators that Drumpf was the Trump's ancestral name, and that neither Donald Trump nor his father were named Drumpf, they disagreed on whether the family name was changed in the 17th century or well into the 19th century, when Trump's grandfather Frederick Trump immigrated to the.
I've also heard 1600s. So even Snopes tells you the family surname was once Drumpf. Mostly true. The surname of Trump's family was originally Trump. Donald Trump's name was never Donald Drumpf. But here is wisdom. It says when you key in Don Drumpf, it comes to 666 in Gematria, which is multi-thousand-year-old language of converting letters to numbers. And when you key in 666, you get Donald John Drumpf. I hope that makes it pretty clear for you. When you key in SIX, 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 it comes to his name. It is the number of a man, and that number is 603 score and 6 or 666. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for tonight's study. I hope that helps you understand a lot. Anyway, love y'all.